Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Today I want to talk to you about prepping military gear. And I've had a lot of people ask me about this. It can be at times a little bit of a sore subject for some people, mostly people who have already prepped a bunch of military gear. But I want to let you guys know right away, the majority of people realize that I share stuff on this channel to help people. It's not to single people out, and so I hope you don't feel bottom hurt or singled out, anything like that. So the real truth about military gear is that unfortunately it's made for soldiers, and not just, any old soldier, but low-level grunts. And the biggest representation that we can see of that has been, in my opinion, throughout history, or in the modern history era, the Soviet Union. And we can see their approach of just throwing the cheapest low-level functional gear at poorly trained soldiers, really farmers in a lot of cases with no training, and getting them a rifle, whether it be a Mosin Nagant or an AK, and just getting them out, throwing thousands or even hundreds of thousands of guys at the problem when you could have saved a lot of lives and really huge death tolls, and then just waves and waves of disposable soldiers. And where that leads is high death toll. The US military does it as well to a certain extent, but when you start getting into quality gear, a lot of people will ask me, hey, if that's the case, if that's true, if military gear isn't what's recommended for preppers or the top quality gear, what do you recommend? And it's not really about what I recommend. What we should look at, and what we should be looking at, is what the best in class operators recommend. What the guys that are hottest on the gun recommend. If you're looking at climbing gear, top climbers, right? And as far as military goes, we've got U.S. Army troops these days that don't even go to combat school at the most basic level. And then when you start looking at the elite operators, and really tier 1 guys is what it would be, they almost all like to use civilian gear. Why is that? Well, it's just because of the fact that the issue gear is never that great. You look at Molly backpacks, that's my big, thing on my channel that I've kind of known for, and it's not that I hate Molly backpacks. It's just the opposite of high speed, low drag, right? Sticking stuff all over the outside of your pack so you can get hung up on doorways and room clearing, or heavy brush out in the woods or rural environments, and that's what high speed operators know. And it's funny because all these guys prep all this military gear thinking that it's going to help them, in the SHTF situation, and then the guys who really know, any kind of an operator, any kind of a squared away guy, they're prepping civilian stuff. They're using mountain hardware, which is even low level civilian gear. And if you guys really want to, know what's best, just go to REI. Ask somebody, what's a leading civilian pack. It's always going to have a better load bearing system than what military is because of the price. The ability to avoid a government contract, and the ability of somebody to kind of pay what they want to pay as at an individual basis, but the government doesn't have any of that ability. So just something to look at, something to take into consideration. You guys that either have prepped military gear or consider prepping military gear, definitely check out the Real Gray Man Theory, as I teach here on my channel, because that's also, those guys that even find that it might be effective to have that type gear, they're supported by quick reaction forces and all kinds of millions of dollars of Apache helicopters that can come in and calling fire support. You have none of that. So what do you have to do? You have to be, if an SHTF situation, you're going to be more like the insurgent population. You're going to have to go low key. You're going to have to fly under the radar, so to speak. You're going to have to know how to not draw unwanted attention to yourself. And so you're looking at civilian gear.
road.
Oh, okay.
No electric out here.
Okie dokie. So yeah, we, interestingly enough, just passed an electric bike on the side of the road, and then the security guy came up to me and told me no electric bikes out here. Why do you think that is? That has a lot to do with me leaning more towards the line right now of a hard target. I got tattoos. I got 260-pound fit guy riding a bike, tattoos and beard, and apparently a mean look on my face that even though I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet, I can't seem to wipe off my face. But anyway, this all goes to the same consideration. Earlier today, I was riding around out here with a different outfit on. I just went to the gym, worked out earlier today, and got a completely different reception, right? Got treated completely differently with the different outfit that I had on. Just removing the sleeves and having a jersey on changed the whole dynamic. I had the floral shirt on earlier, and it was a big sun hat, and the whole dynamic was just completely different. There's a big hipster scene here, and I almost got treated as one of the homies having more of a hipster look, and it's just kind of the way it goes sometimes, but that's really what I wanted to share with you guys. The whole idea of being aware of your surroundings, and then knowing what you're prepping, what you're carrying, what you're doing, the way you present yourself. And that's really why I share stuff here on the channel, to help as many people as possible. And military gear is very, very often not the answer, right? And the reason that is just because military guys they have to use what they have to use. The government buys it cheap. They want to give it to these guys, literally at the standard level, disposable grunts that are just using whatever gear they have to use. The more trained you become when you're in the military, the more you realize that the gear sucks, and the more the most elite levels of these guys, they all use civilian gear because they get authorization to at that level, and they use much better kit. The only exceptions are stuff like night vision goggles and stuff like that the same standard guys don't get to use. So really think twice about prepping military gear, and when you're looking for what kind of gear is best for whatever type of sport or whatever you're involved in, whatever you're looking to do. If you're looking for, like I say, climbing gear, look at the best climbers, talk to them, figure out what they're using. Be careful with gun and firearm stuff, because there's a big difference between what works for a shooting competition or on the range and what works in real life situations. So a lot of times training is going to be your best bet. If you have the luxury of buying expensive gear, then look into it, do your research. And I'll continue doing as much as I can to help you guys out here on the channel as far as sharing tips and tricks and doing gear reviews and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you guys tuning in. This is your fair warning to stop now with your prepping military gear, and get your gear game up, take it to the next level with gear that's more effective and that's actually going to help you, for you prepper guys, if you actually have to use your gear in a SHTF situation. Thanks for watching. Bone out.